Hi guys, welcome back to another video. My name's Jack, and in this video we're going to be doing a post-Christmas update on ICP. Going to be doing technical analysis as of today. Going to be giving you some price targets to the upside if the bull run continues, and also be giving you some targets to the downside in case this short-term bearish trend does continue. So all that and more in this video. Before we get in, if you don't mind, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. It really does help me out. And I make a lot of content here. I will probably end up saving you some money someday. So yeah, hit that notification bell so you actually get my content when you need it. Right, so let's jump in. So I'm gonna very quickly, guys, look at Bitcoin here because it's really going to determine what's going to happen ICP and the rest of the altcoins in the immediate short term. And in fact, there are a couple of warning signals flashing right now on Bitcoin that I want to walk you through. So the first one here, as I discussed in my last video, is that we had this bearish divergence now confirmed on the weekly time frame on the RSI here on Bitcoin. We're making higher highs in the price, lower highs in the RSI. That has now confirmed last week with this candle close in the red. And generally what you see from this, guys, when it happens on the weekly, these are huge signals. So really what you're going to be expecting here is either best case scenario, some choppy sideways price action, or worst case scenario, a significant pullback. Now, the difference is on the weekly time frame, these can take weeks or months to play out. So this can essentially be confirmed, but the bull run can continue. But basically what this is telling us here, guys, is that time is running out for the bull run. If we look at previous examples of when this happened, you see there was a bearish divergence here in the price, and basically it did continue rallying, and it would have been a bad decision to sell here, but what you saw, time is running out. Same here again, you had another one confirmed here and in the last cycle, and that was the end. So this signal is now here, guys, so just paying attention to it, but it is a longer term signal. What has just printed in the last couple of days, if I just remove our EMA band here, we have just 2 days ago confirmed a break below our 50-day SMA here on Bitcoin, guys. And generally what you see once you see a candle close here, in fact, when this candle closed, I've sold everything for temporarily, guys, just for a couple of days until we see a break back above here, just to protect myself. But when we saw this break down here, generally what you can expect from that is further downside. So if we look at some examples here, see the way it happened here in April of this year, you've seen the close below, and we continued the breakdown for another 18 days. So it would have presented you with a better buying opportunity down here. Again, happened here in June, closed below, and again, you got another 18-day, 19-day pullback. If we go a little bit further, you had one in January of last year, and here you had another 10 days of a pullback here, or a 7.5%. So you get the sort of picture when you close a daily candle below this EMA band, this SMA on the 50-day SMA, I'm trying to say, generally it means more downside is in the cards. It's not guaranteed. It does give some false signals, but basically the invalidation for that theory that there's going to be downside is basically just breaking back above the 50-day SMA, which is at 96K currently. Okay, so in the immediate short term then, I do expect Bitcoin to continue to the downside until we see a break above 96K. If we do see that, then it's time to reassess. But yeah, in the immediate short term, guys, Bitcoin and the altcoins technically are more probable to continue to the downside in the immediate short term. Where could it stop? Basically, I am targeting, you could find support here at 85K, but really I'm targeting this level here at 80,000 to 74,000, basically, for a few reasons. It was our prior high here, which we have not yet retested. It is our EMA band on the weekly time frame. So you've got a couple of confluences there as well. So yeah, just keep that number in mind, between 80 and 75K, but at best case scenario, it would be sort of 85K. So just to summarize then, Bitcoin in the immediate short term, downside is more probable, but it is important to remember that we are still in a bull market. We're making higher highs and higher lows, but it may just be time that we need to cool off for a little while. So on to ICP now. Now, before we start with ICP, just a quick reminder, if you're not already subscribed, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. All this content, guys, is created to help you guys avoid my mistakes in the past and keep your money safe. So ICP on the weekly time frame. So let's start with the basics. So on the weekly time frame, we are above our EMA band, which is bullish. It's good. We're sort of holding the line here just barely, but we are still holding it. Our RSI is continuing this breakout of this huge downtrend that we had, and we are still retesting our midline here. So nothing much has really changed here on the weekly. Basically, the good things is we're above our EMA band here, and we are above our RSI midline. So technically, the ICP on the weekly time frame is still bullish. and that target of $150 to $250 is still active. But in the immediate short term, we've got a couple of signals we want to pay attention to. The first one is this candle that we've got right here that is about to print this week. If this prints, guys, in 5 hours, this is quite a negative signal in the immediate short term. See, when you've got a candle here and you come up to resistance, but you get this long wick to the upside, that signifies big selling pressure. And if we see a couple of examples here of when you see a sort of long wick candle like that, here was one here, you continue to the downside. Here was one here, you continue to the downside. Now I would expect it to eventually break above this. It's just in the immediate, because we are in a bull market, but in the immediate short term, when you see a long wick to the upside here, it generally means more downside is in store. And in fact, that marries up with our smaller time frames as well. If we just go down to the 2-day time frame. So if you see here on the 2-day time frame, we are currently below our EMA band here, which is generally on the 2-day time frame. One of my rules for being in a project is that rule number 1 is that it has to be above its 2-day EMA band. ICP is currently below. And the reason I have this rule, guys, is just because look at the past here. Whenever the project is below the EMA band, and this works for any altcoin, whenever it's below the EMA band, generally it's going to keep trending to the downside until it actually breaks above, like it did here in November. And right now we are below here, guys. So downside is the more probable outcome in the immediate short term. We've also got this downsloping trend line, which we have not yet broken. So all in all, with the RSI on the 2-day time frame also just going down, down, down. With these three signals, basically, guys, I am expecting more downside here in the immediate short term on ICP, potentially to that sort of $8.80 level. But I mean, we don't want to see that break. Personally, yeah, I'm sitting on the sidelines for now until, as I said in my last video, once I see a break back above $12, this downtrend is going to be invalidated and I'll be jumping in with a full position on ICP. But as I say, until I see that, either a break of this trend line, a break of this EMA band, or the RSI coming back above the midline, in the immediate short term, it looks like downside is the more probable outcome. So just to summarize then, long term, bullish on ICP. I think it's going to go to $150 to $250. We are above our EMA band, so basically the weekly timeframes, the higher timeframes are looking good. The shorter timeframes within this larger bullish trend is looking more likely that it's going to continue to the downside a little bit more before ultimately reversing and heading back to the upside. So I'm going to leave this video here. I hope you did get some value from it. If you did, please do consider hitting that subscribe button and clicking that notification bell. Really does help me out, guys, and I'm doing my best here to help you save some money by telling you what I am doing with mine. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Speak to you in the next one. Bye-bye.